That's a have. The United States, because we have the same values. We share the same ideas of respect for the family. It makes it easy to have a difficult water. And but I'm to come by and say hello. Yeah. Closer. Everybody, one more. Ready? Thank you.
I have opening remarks by Chairman.
I hope you all are energetic and so exciting, and is more Korean language. 안녕하세요. 축하합니다. Teach him as much as I could, but it wasn't easy. But little by little, he's gonna be improved. And he himself and my family is like a family friend. I know his wife. I know all his family, especially his father and his mother is very close friend. All of his brothers and sisters. So it's a great opportunity, and he's the man who put me on to the political field and appointed, like the first time ever. Nassau County is like a suburban county, only white dominant place, and also government sector also the same. But he put me in as a deputy commissioner, highest ever in Nassau County history, and I could have a lot of my subordinate, and also I could manage what to do in the U.S. government. And that experience is a lot of opportunity to learn about America and American government and what to do. And again, for learning his own New York State campaign, I learned a lot about what's going on over there. Starting from the Buffalo and to the New York City, I learned a lot. I met so many different people. So he is my inspirator and mentor, and also he helped a lot, and we helped together. And thank God he's in the Ways and Means Committee. You may or may not know about Ways and Means Committee. It's so powerful. Thank you, Elliot. Thanks so much. Let's give him a lot of big applause for Chairman Elliot Engel. Thank you, Chairman. And also, Chairman Engel is very nearby district, which is in Bronx. So thank God I had a meeting with him, and also he was hosted our event 2017, 2 years back. So there was a good opportunity, and he's generous enough, and he's very concerned about Korean community. And when his last speech, he visited Pyongyang and also Korea too. So he knew about a lot about Korea, and also now he's most powerful man in U.S. Congress, control all the like a foreign affairs issue. I'm so glad he's with us tonight, and he knows a lot about Korea. He knows a lot of the delicacy of the Korean issue, and also he's so much concerned about like U.S. and alliance. That's why he kind of about resolution 136. Chairman, 137, right? So he initiated U.S. Resolution 137, which says about U.S. support U.S., Korea, and Japan alliance. That's his strong support. And again, last August, he mentioned about very deeply concerned about Korea's decision to came out from Jisomia, right? So that's so much his concern, and also that could hurting a lot of security and all the issue in Korean Peninsula. So that much he's very concerned about Korea issue, and that much he's so much concerned about Korean American issue too. So again, I'm so happy he's with us tonight. And again, as an opening remark, I hope to say to you, I think the Korean Peninsula is a lot of time of challenge. Thank God I do have a Korean congressman here tonight. But we see a lot of things happen. Every weekend we see millions and millions of people gathering in Gwanghwamun. And I see a lot of women. It's very cold night. He's sleeping on the street. Is it possible woman can sleeping on the street winter night? So I know how much their frustration. I know how much they are concerned about Korea issue. So in their angle, I brought idea. Let's have meet together with Congressman and also Chairman Engel. Let's make this message to the mainstream of Korea, and we talk about how we can Korea story. Millions of years, how we can calm down. That's what I know. Chairman, what do Inshallah, and so the same. So again, you're coming, and thank you, audience, and I appreciate about it, and hope to continue to discuss open event together. And thank you so much for this Korea conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. Now we will hear from Chairman Engel of the address. Chairman Lee.
Thank you. Good evening or good afternoon. I work with my own, but there are you as well. As you know, so you're going to see a lot of reporters in a way exciting. With you on, I'm sure you'll have Congress 30 and hard since then, and America dynamic Korean American diaspora plays our country one of the actually to be in North Korea and South Korea. Change the world. To live under it was really likened it to the fact that that famous was taken Korean and you look see whether it's Republic of South Korea, it's all lit up on the picture. I don't know if there's anything that says it more or better than that about what it is that people, Korea, North and South, have to endure and daily. I am of Korea line that has lasted for many, many years. I remember when I was a boy, again growing up in New York schools, about Korea, about Asia. I was always fascinated about this important 70 years since the implementation of trade relations stronger, strong 8 states, China. As chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, I hope that you have time in your meetings to discuss how, through diplomacy, legislation, and institutional exchange, we can reinforce our existing bonds of friendship and also find new areas of cooperation. This friendship has led to lasting benefits for both countries in the areas of science, knowledge, academia, and cultural exchange. Please see the United States Federal Partnership Month, focusing in search of solutions to security issues, disasters, and infectious disease. Korean Americans have been at the forefront, bringing up 19 1903. It's vibrant community. My district is the best New York City area, has a large Korean community. We're in the outside of Korea, and I'm grade, nice low grade. But the best thing about it is the greater New York metropolitan area and communities anywhere in the world out there has produced individuals, entrepreneurs, journalists, public novelists, doctors, restaurateurs, good Korean food you can, and many more who have made their mark across our country. And you know, New York, there are special schools which give to children. Korean, of course, when I've learned about Korean life, when I've learned about the Korean family, education to yourself, and it really shows. So it's the Korean culture, and it's in America. It helps these above everybody else. We have people from all over the world. You emigrate from here. You go to a new country. You probably don't speak the language. You don't really know the customs, and you do. What kind of people? Great, highly industrious people who want to better their life, want to better their family life, and so the United States of America's life as well. I really believe that, and I really believe that immigration is important because we get the best and the brightest. You know, lazy people can stay home, whatever countries, but industrious people who often can't speak the language toss everything away because they are industrious, and so that's why I think the Korean community better is an exemplary occasion for it, and it shows more than almost any other community what it really means to spread the culture around and really make a mark in so many different places around the world. As I look across the room, I'm thrilled to see so many Korean American leaders here in our nation's capital at a crucial time. I mentioned before the impeachment and everything else. We need to strengthen our long-standing alliances. Is greater than ever. And I want to tell you before I close, I am wary, and as the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee, and I think that the president should be wary too of all kinds of things happening from the so-called People's Republic of Korea. I have not seen them. I have not seen Kim Jong-un really be serious about any kind of negotiating. And I frankly think that we should be very tough in our negotiations with him, because the last thing we want, who's the country that's really most in danger, it would be the Republic of Korea. So let me tell you, we're going to be there with you. We're going to always stand by you. So thank you for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful time meeting other Korean American leaders and meeting leaders from all over the country. Thank you, and may our two countries continue to flourish and grow in deep friendship and deep alliance. Thank you very much.
Smile. One more, last one. 1, 2, 3.
So thank you very much.
Okay.
Mr. Engel, excuse me for my rudeness, but can you stay a few more minutes? I'd like to say something about the Korean situation and what I like to suggest to the Congress, U.S. Congress.
Well, only if it's a few minutes, because I'm scheduled to speak and then we have votes.
Okay.
So I really
I
can't
say a few minutes, about 5.
5 minutes will be okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So, I like to take the podium. The for me here. My name is Ian. You probably the member of the New York bar, a member of the New York, the DC and Maryland bar. I practiced law for 4 years and I'm retired now. Just past the June, end of June. But retired, but still busy. Before entering his career,
Please.
Yes.
No, don't say nothing, just your question. And
Okay. No, I respect that. Say now.
just ask him for question.
Like Angel said, it's very dark northern part. That is true. But that's going to remember.
He's very tough to manage his own schedule. So,
So the career is at the verge, at the edge of the collective floor. Right. So MZ supposed to be withdrawn. Our wires is withdrawn. The landmine was withdrawn. The Moon Jae president ready. Yeah. The Korea brought the Kim Jong is April 15, 2020. That is general election. They will get 2/3 the seats of the legislature. There is a single chamber of
I'm sorry, what is your
legislature in
question?
Korea.
Okay,
So,
please.
my request is this. Only U.S. can, United States can stop this. The first thing I want the United States to do, especially the Congress, United States Congress. Congress is what? How the people. Congress resolution saying he is not a president. He is a fake, but Park Geun-hye is the real president. U.S. already did that for the one who is a fake one. I want you to do the same thing for the Korean situation. Okay. Then,
Is that okay? I'm sorry, okay.
Second, your second wish.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, okay.
okay, in resolution, there is a one resolution. Okay.
I'm told that I have to speak. Let me just say this. The president, as you know from the American Constitution, since you're a lawyer, makes policy when it comes to foreign affairs. The legislature, which is the Congress, there are checks and balances, and we try to check it. That's part of what this whole impeachment is all about. But generally speaking, the President of the United States and his administration makes foreign policy. I was expressing my view that I think that Kim Jong-un cannot be trusted, and I don't think there was anything, in my opinion, that he was doing that was moving us more towards peace. Remember, if you have the knowledge of making a bomb, atomic bomb, you always have that knowledge. You can throw it away, but you would always have the knowledge to build it. I think that there has to be some very strong steps and safeguards. I think President Trump has met with Kim Jong-un twice now. It hasn't really been brought to fruition. It's helpful to see very discuss.
Okay. Second question I want is the U.S. will not forsake South Korea. That's I want you to say that.
I have to speak for the U.S. I speak for me as one of the elected members and the head of the Foreign Affairs Committee. I certainly would, because I have too many friends there, I mentioned several times, and I think it's an area important thing that the United States in the world. I can think of President Trump, who sort of pull away from alliance in NATO and other things. I think the alliance is important. I think the people of Korea are used to freedom. People of American people. I'm sorry.
We are by Wang, Dr. Chair, please.
Respected members of the it's my great pleasure and honor to address keynote at this prestigious meeting of Korea-America leaders. To begin with, I would like to express my gratitude to all Lord America saved from the Korean War. Many as 1.8 million American young were sent to Korean. Out of 34,000 were killed in action. 92,000 were wounded. 37,000 missing, and 34,000 detained as prisoner of war. We remember the letter sent by General James Van Fleet to parents who lost their son during the Korean War, saying that no one is great than the man who sacrificed one's own life for friends. He himself lost his only son at the war. Again, we do not forget the letter written by Van Fleet Jr. to his mother, saying that, "Dear Mom, don't cry for me. I came to Korea to fulfill my duty as a soldier." During the Vietnamese War, about 300,000 young were dispatched to assist troops. Out of them, 1,000 soldiers lost in Vietnam. In this area, and laid on the ground where youngsters from both countries fled. Members of KPAC and respectful audience. Nowadays, somehow, something is underway in Korea. The republic, which has enjoyed the unprecedented prosperity, now faces a crisis that we have never imagined. With the emergence of pro-North Korea leftist government of Moon Jae-in, the republic is being sacked at every corner. About 2.5 years of Moon regime. Only recent days, the general public in Korea started to recognize the seriousness of the problem caused by the Moon government. As you could witness on TV, millions of Koreans from all corners
of the peninsula get together periodically at the center of the city of Seoul and called up Moon stepped down immediately. The demonstrators requested a summary report, not to make a communist country, not to destroy economic prosperity, not to abandon liberal democracy. Moon Jae-in and his followers are in principle communists. We desperately need America's support once again at this time, at this moment. The Republic of Korea, in alliance with the United States and Japan, must win against the beguiling communist power of North Korea, China, and Russia. This is the way not only America and Korea, but also the whole world could enjoy freedom and prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to protect individual freedom, I believe the current alliance between Korea and America must be reinforced further. It is a key way that we can resolve the threatening nuclear crisis of North Korea over U.S. soldiers and Korean people. I believe we can do it together through our joint efforts. Once those communists, both in South and North Korea, are removed, we don't have to worry about ongoing attempts to communise South Korea anymore. While the inauguration of this Korea-America Leaders Conference today, I look forward to crafting specific plans to dispel communists as well as ways to expand cooperation between Korea and America toward mutual prosperity through collaborated efforts between KPEC America and KPEC Korea. My dear fellow members and ladies and gentlemen, today is just the beginning of our long journey, but as guided in the Holy Bible, though thy beginning is small, yet thy latter end should greatly increase. Let's make concerted effort to realize a prosperous future, hand in hand. I pray God bless, love and grace of America and Korea and their people. Wishing to consolidate eternal friendship and alliance of Korea and America, I would like to end today's keynote speech. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chair. Now we have another keynote address by Mr. Kim Tae-young, former Minister of National Defense. Mr. Kim, please.
Okay, sir. Respected member of KPEC, this about the Korean Peninsula's strategic environment and the South Korea and the United States alliance. As you know very well, Korea is located on a peninsula surrounded by powerhouses on the continent and the sea, and thus national security has always been our primary concern. We have faced a series of crises that threatened the nation's fate over the past 500 years, such as the Japanese invasion, the Chinese invasion, and the Japan-Korea annexation. We were liberated from the decades-long Japanese occupation in 1945 and infused with new hope for reconstructing the nation. However, only a few years later, North Korea invaded South Korea with the support of China and the Soviet Union, and the resulting Korean War wreaked havoc on the entire peninsula for 3 years. South Korea was barely able to survive as a nation based on the aid of the United Nations forces and the initiative of the United States. The strategic environment faced by South Korea today continues to be aggravated. The international pursuit of the universal value of the humankind to achieve a global community is being crowded out by the decline in globalization and the growing non-liberal international order, as evidenced by the wave of great powers seeking their own interests and attempting to resolve conflicts through coercive forces. As a result, the strategic environment across Northeast Asia has become even more dire. China continues to overtly express its will to conquer the world and antagonize neighboring countries by building its offensive military power, pushing ahead with the One Belt One Road initiative and staking its claim of the South China Sea. China has carried out campaigns of economic retaliation against South Korea over its THAAD deployment to protect against North Korean missiles, and the aftermath of this retaliation is still being felt to this day. On the internal front, South Korea has suffered nearly 3,000 acts of military provocation by North Korea since the Korean armistice agreement in 1950, and has been dismissed by nuclear ambitions over the past 2 decades. However, a series of meetings came to fruition to seek the resumption of inter-Korean exchange relations in early made response. The result of the United States and North Korea. However, these summits proceeded in time far from our expectations, and it appears working level meetings between the two countries will produce positive outcomes. In the meantime, North Korea, which has been isolated due to sanctions imposed by the United Nations Security Council and upheld by the international community, including China and Russia, how China for high progress and China's and Xi Jinping's visit to North Korea. These areas efforts to ease the sanctions. It is viewed that the governments of the United States and Korea are sharing the common goal of denuclearization remain short-term dialogue with each other. The South Korean government appears to be mobilizing all means to establish a peace regime based on improved inter-Korean relations before achieving the denuclearization of North Korea. Through a series of contacts with North Korea, the United States government is believed to have shifted from its initial stance of entertaining even military options to root out North Korea's nuclear and missile ambitions, to establishing a regime aimed at deterring North Korea's nuclear program first. President Donald Trump's priority goals are to defeat China in the trade war and prevent China's military expansion in line with the United States' national interests, while successfully overcoming the threat of impeachment and winning the presidential election next year. In this context, he is expected to try to present peace outcome in any form regarding the denuclearization of North Korea. even if it's too short. Seeing through this changing situation, North Korea gave up its previous position and began acting out of tune by firing new missiles and multiple rocket launchers toward the direction of the East Sea, unveiling newly built weapons such as large submarines and large ballistic missiles, and demanding substantial sanction relief in working level meeting with the United States. Over the past 2 years, since the inauguration of President Trump and President Moon Jae-in in 2017, the United States-Korea alliance has continued to crumble at an increasing pace as follows. First one, maybe over 10 years long, the United States and Korea discussed to find better solutions to the transfer of the wartime operational control of the Combined Forces Command. Second is the Korean government is still holding behind to participate actively in the United States government decision, such as the Indo-Pacific strategy or the Hormuz State operation. The third is immediately after the first United States-North Korean summit, the value of the various U.S.-Korea combined joint military exercise was estimated. Of course, the government emphasized the national great payment station of the United States. Can say the Korean government provided the United States announced SEC to terminate the security of military information agreement with Japan without seeking cooperation from the United States. But we need to think again. The United States needs to maintain the strength of the United States-Korea alliance as it is involved in a protracted war with China, while the bilateral alliance is critical for Korea as it exists under the threat posed by North Korea's nuclear and missile program. The United States and Korea must strive to shape a better future for the bilateral alliance by breaking from their perspectives overly concentrated on domestic politics and evaluating the long-standing values jointly upheld by the two countries. In other words, the two countries must seek ways to further develop their military alliance, fortify the peace and safety of the Northeast Asia, and ultimately ensure the brighter tomorrow future for all. In this respect, stronger endeavors must be made, not only on the governmental level, but also on the non-governmental level, as we witnessed here today. More gatherings like ours need to be staged to expand substantial communication between the United States and Korea and help us all gain a better understanding of each other. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Kim. Now I would like to invite General Lee Seok-bo for giving greetings.
안녕하십니까. Good evening. Chairman Ichoru of KPAC and Korean American leaders for attending here tonight. It is a great honor for me and thank you for having this conference and having me here. This time I came here for two purposes. The first one is my introduction of the KORGAD, Korean retired generals and admirals
defending the nation. Its abbreviation is COGAD. Secondly, I urgently ask for help from U.S. leaders. As you know, today's Republic of Korea is unfortunately dominated by pro-China, pro-North Korean, and anti-American lefties. Moon Jae-in, who is suspicious as communist, and he visited Pyongyang on September 19 last year and signed so-called September 19 inter-Korean military agreement. This agreement is based on the premise of the dismantling of the nuclear program in North Korea. This agreement is advantageous for offensive North Korea and disadvantageous for defensive South Korea, as you are aware of. Currently, the leftward Moon administration controls all features of the society, such as the media, judicial branch, and executive branch, as you know. On the other hand, the opposition party in Korea divided into multiple factions and do not effectively check and balance the leading party. Therefore, the people of Korea cannot only rely on the opposition party and rather came to us, retired generals, and asked for saving the liberal democratic system of South Korea. Based on this countless call of help from the people of Korea, we took action to build our organization in January 30th this year. Currently, we are made up of 870 retired generals from the old forces. Also, we have 700 of non-generals who are the honorary members and supporters. Such an organization is unprecedented in the entire military history of South Korea. Now we have 11 former Minister of Defense and 73 retired four-star generals. We are a non-profit private organization run on its own membership. Since the beginning of organization, we set up three major goals. First, we protect the system of liberal democracy. Second, we defeat the communism and deceived peace scheme. Third, we bolster and continue the ROC-US alliance. Under these goals, we have achieved and continued various campaigns. First, we are exerting to neutralize the September 19 inter-Korean military agreement. Second, we accused former and current Minister of National Defense for treason on September 18th this year. Third, we announced and published 12 statements which condemned the Moon administration for its wrongdoings and unpatriotic behaviors, such as the summon of U.S. ambassador and demilitarization activity. Fourth, we are running the YouTube channel, Voice of General, 장군의 소리, and we have some viewers and subscribers in the U.S. as well. Fifth, we have published and disseminated a book called Republic of Korea in the Middle of Life or Death to educate youngsters and so forth. Before I close my remarks, I sincerely hope that KPAC becomes as influential as APAC, American Israel Public Affairs Committee. I firmly believe Korean American leaders who participate in this conference exert every effort to make the KPAC as strong as APEC. Lastly, I'd like to wrap up my speech today with sincere hope that the Korean American Leaders Conference will produce a very fruitful outcome. Thank you.
Thank you, General Lee. Let me try to introduce several other people who just lately arrived. Dr. Patrick Cronin arrived? Oh, over there, yes. Dr. Patrick Cronin, Senior Fellow of Hudson University. Thank you. Mr. Nissim Roden. Mr. Roden is Assistant Director of Asia Pacific Institute of the AJC American Jewish Community. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to invite National Assemblyman Kang Hyo-sang to deliver a few remarks. Mr. Kang, please.
Dear respected member of the U.S. Congress, Korean American leaders, and guests from both countries. I'm Hyo-sang Kang, a member of National Assembly, Republic of Korea, and a member of Liberal Korea Party, the largest opposition and conservative party. I'm so grateful to see Chairman Song Dae-sung and the former Minister Mr. Choi Kwang and Kim Tae-young, Chairman Lee Seok-bok and Dr. Kim Tae-woo in this Washington, D.C. And I'm also so thankful for inviting me to President Lee Cheol-woo. Washington D.C. is like my second home. I worked as a Washington correspondent from 1997 to 2001. And back to Seoul, I worked the head of newsroom of TV Joseon, as you know, and managing editor of Joseon Daily newspaper, the largest newspaper and conservative newspaper in South Korea. After becoming a member of the Korean National Assembly, I visited the U.S. several times as a chief of staff of the main opposition party to counter North Korea's constant nuclear threat. As you see, my hair is not normal. 2 months ago, I shaved my head to fight against Moon Jae-in government's misconduct and dictatorial attitude. Like my hair, Korea's situation, political situation, is not normal, I think. We have to make South Korea right. We have to make our country normal. We have to solve this problem together. Lastly, I would like to point out one urgent thing. Moon Jae-in government is currently being criticized by the international community after it was revealed that this Moon Jae-in government forcibly repatriated two North Koreans who attempted defection to South Korea through a fishing boat. Our party condemned President Moon Jae-in's government's anti-humanitarian action. I strongly appeal for the attention of the international community, including U.S. community, on this issue regarding the repatriation of North Korean defector. I hope that today's meeting will also contribute greatly to improving and solidifying that great, wonderful Korea and U.S. relationship. Thank you very much.
Thank you, National Assemblyman Kang. Now I would like to invite Mr. James Fisher to make a few remarks.
안녕하세요. Good evening. It's an honor to be here tonight on behalf of my boss, General John Tillelli, who couldn't make it tonight. He's in Korea. It's an honor to be here tonight. I want to talk briefly about a couple subjects. The Korean War veterans that fought in Korea, that are still alive, love the South Korean people. A lot of people say, why? You know, you went to fight a war, but they went over there and they saw how the Korean people really lived, how dedicated they were, the South Korean people, and that they really wanted freedom. It would break their heart if something happened right now that South Korea was taken over. They loved the Korean people. They love what you accomplished. America has fought many wars. Germany and Japan and some other places, and plus Korea. Of all the wars that have taken place, the United States participated in, there's only one country that came back and appreciated what the American soldiers did for them, and that was the country of South Korea. Even today, they still are very gracious to our Korean War veterans. They thank them every time they come to DC. They come, and what breaks my heart every time is when they land at Dulles Airport, these tour groups. You think they would come and check into their hotel or go to a reception and so forth. Their first response is they're coming to the Korean War Veterans Memorial, where they take off their shoes and bow down to the statues and thank America and the Korean War veterans for saving their country. Now, we thank the Korean Americans. I'm going to say this about the South Koreans that came to the United States. There's been no other people than South Koreans that have come to the United States and have lived up to the American dream of immigrating properly, coming in legally, coming in and establishing themselves, not asking for aid, not asking for welfare. They came as a family unit. They came with their culture still. They progressed, they worked hard as a family, and they have succeeded. And look at them today. They are pillars of our community all over the United States. That can be attributed to the Koreans' desire. That can be contributed to the South Koreans' people's heart. That can be contributed to the South Koreans' way of life. America, the United States today, is so much more better because of the South Korean people. If you look where they stand, higher education, in office, technicians, they're the smartest people in the colleges. We have to be thankful that God has blessed the South Korean people in the United States of America.
Right.
As far as the Wall of Remembrance, I'm going to be done here shortly. We are now in the process of building an addition onto the Korean War Veterans Memorial. It's called the Wall of Remembrance. It was initially supposed to be built when the wall was initially constructed 25 years ago. But the Congress at that time decided we didn't want to turn it into a city full of names. Now, a lot of us disagreed with that. because they had the Vietnam Veterans Memorial with names and so forth. But we resubmitted it through Congress and it passed overwhelmingly this time. So we are in the process of honoring the over 37,000 American soldiers and sailors and airmen who died in the Korean War. Plus, we are going to put the names, the 8,000 names of the Katusas on that wall also, because they served with the United States and gave up their lives so that another American wouldn't have to do it. But we want to make sure that our brothers, the Katusas, are on that wall also to be thanked and honored properly. You know, our organization has to be non-political, but I'm going to say this. In the history of the world, there has never been a dictator that did a 180 degrees into a capitalistic society or democracy or so forth. And I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon with the gentleman in the north. Anybody that wanted to give up power like that would want to change, I don't think it's going to happen. That's why this alliance has to be strong as ever. I can honestly say, being after in the military for 24 years, that the South Korean alliance, the United States alliance, is the strongest alliance the United States has. And we need to continue that. It is, people don't realize how strategic and how vital South Korea is in that part of the world. You know, I don't know if man can change a man's heart. I don't think they can. But you know, the only way I feel to change a man's heart up north, there's only one person that can do it, and that's God. And I think we have to pray to God daily that there be something happen to this man so that the people of North Korea can be free and be prosperous, just like the South Korean people did. No other time in history has a country, after been devastated from war, you take Germany, you take Japan, and so forth, has risen to the 10th leading economy in the world in such a short time, in under 70 years. That can be directly attributed to the South Korean people. We need the South Korean people and the American people to stay strong. Thank you, Kapchi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fisher. Finally, I would mention that U.S. Senator Margaret Wood Hassan sent a congratulatory and support letter to this event. So since Senator Hassan is not here, I was requested to read through what she has written to our conference. Dear friends, I am pleased to welcome you to our nation's capital and thank you for attending today's Korean American Leadership Conference. The United States and the Republic of Korea have a close relationship built upon our shared values and common economic and national security interests. The strength of the Korean American community is a testament to the success of our relationship and the benefits of our continued cooperation. In the face of pressing security threats faced by both our nations, it's important that Congress continue to support the United States Republic of Korea alliance. As a member of the Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, I work to keep America safe, secure, and free by fostering critical partnerships across the globe. This year, I had the opportunity to meet with the government officials in the Republic of Korea to reaffirm the commitment of the United States to the Republic of Korea and to security throughout the Korean Peninsula. I deeply appreciate the warm welcome I received, remain committed to these efforts, and look forward to continuing cooperation between the United States and the Republic of Korea. Thank you all for your advocacy and leadership. The diligent work of everyone here today is essential to the longevity and full functioning of our democracies I hope that you all enjoy this opportunity to continue your important work and to meet your fellow Korean American leaders. With every good wish, Margaret Wood Hassan, United States Senator. Thank you. Now I would close the opening ceremony for the event, and we will have a 10-minute break, and then panel discussion will follow. Thank you very much.
The second session will start 10 minutes from now. The 6 panelists describe